The craziest part about this video is that by the time it's out, I think most of the things I'm going to talk about are actually going to be sold out. Hola, high fashion doll lovers. My name is Christopher y bienvenidos to Just Christopher TV. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing my thoughts on some newly exciting releases. Now, as I mentioned just a few seconds ago, by the time this video is out, some of these things are sold out. I already know one of the items is officially sold out, and the other item, I'm just gonna go ahead and predict that it probably is. So think of this video more as my thoughts, a conversation between you and I on what's released and what our thoughts on them. So go ahead, press pause, grab a snack, grab a beverage, and let's get into these topics, shall we? Okay, I'm gonna ahead and move myself to the side so we can have some space over here for our images. The first topic of conversation is one that I'm very, very excited about. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of information on it, but we have image, and that's what's important. Insert image now. Mini fashion brand series 4 is confirmed. It is on its way. We just don't know when. These images are from the Kmart listing in Australia, as well as the Canadian Amazon has already posted them on their website. No information on pricing or when they'll be released in America, but it's just great to have a confirmation that it's coming. I feel like a lot of us in the community have been waiting in pins and needles to find out if the collection was being continued, what was going on, because it feels like all the other minis are like being produced back to back, but the fashion minis, they always seem to take a break. They always seem to like reevaluate themselves. I will say that what I've noticed about this collection in particular, it seems to have a more of a theme. I feel like the ones previously were just pretty bags, and each time they released a new collection, they added a new item. This one though seems to be very much on the bright and colorful pastels. Well, I shouldn't say pastels, but it's very bright. It's very joyful. It's very Y2K. Actually. So this is really keeping in with that trend that's happening in fashion where Y2K has been back for the past year, and it's really bringing some like joy and colors into it. I am definitely gonna be stepping out of my comfort zone when styling these. It's funny because I don't think I use a lot of color, and then I look at my feed or then my friends are talking to me and I'm like, I actually do use it quite often. I always love a good pop. So very, very excited about the Fashion Minis Series 4. Once again, price and confirmation of release in America have not been really updated as of the moment of this video. But either way, we are excited. We are happy. It's coming. Up next, we have La Llorona, the newest addition to the Dia de los Muertos collection from Barbie at Mattel. You know, I don't usually say that with a lot of joy, but I have to say, insert photo with all the production because it's a work of art. In the recent years, there have not been a lot of things to be excited about at Mattel or at Barbie. But when it comes to the Dia de los Muertos collection, it is honestly one of the best lines to look forward to. How they continue to evolve, stay creative, stay in theme, and really just give you something different every year is just art. There's just really no other way to say it. It's just really, really, really well thought out art. La Llorona, if I'm not mistaken, is this year's like collector edition doll. She was priced at $110, and I say was because from the moment of this video, I didn't confirm on the website for Mattel Creations, but from what I saw on Instagram, she was sold out. There is word that she might be available at the Mattel store in California. So for those that might have not gotten her, there's still possibilities out there on how to get her. I'm not sure. That was a little too confident of me. But it's possible that she'll also appear at a Target or at a Walmart because of this line being so popular. So there's hope there. No confirmation, but there's hope. Let's have the hope alive. When I saw the preview, which I believe was like of the hand and the candle, it wasn't much to go by, so it wasn't anything. But when the full image from the event in Mexico came out, jaw dropped. First of all, they've never had a bride. Second of all, this is an actual folktale. Main character energy. Like, La Llorona is just, like, you know about her. And if you don't, I suggest you Google. I said this before in my videos if you haven't watched. Usually when something really, like, brings me joy, I almost can't talk. And La Llorona is exactly that. I have to say that this collection, overall, if I was in a place of space, like physical space to display stuff, and I probably have said this before, I would have been collecting the Dia de los Muertos because I just, every year it never fails. And the beauty about Dia de los Muertos is that recently, as I mentioned with La Llorona, they have the collector's edition and like what I would call the, I don't want to call them playline because they are not playline, but the difference is the male and female, because now they're a pair. What's the best way to, they're so good that I don't even know how to break it down. What I would say with the collector's edition, the dresses are more elaborate. The fabric choices are more high end is what I will say there for that. I feel like when you think of the non-collector ones in the 80 price point, the fabrics are not that great. I think that's the best way to put this because they're all so good. 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 And I obviously had to show you a photo with like all the details, like the face painting, the hair piece. Oh, it's just so good. I also really love that she has clear pumps. I know most people might overlook that, but I think it's a good disservice when you give a doll with a gown a shoe that you can't see. Like, let's save those for like the cocktail links, which Barbara doesn't do that many of. But like when you're giving an evening gown, just give me a simple pump. We're not looking down there. Like, let's take it back to when the pump was like the icon. Like, do you remember those days? Do you remember like the Barbie pump was like the icon because it was a pump for everything? Let's go back to that because it's stunning, the perfection. Something else I did want to say about this doll before I move on to my next topic is that I really liked how subtle that like lavender shade is under the lace. So it just gives it this, it gives it a modern vintage feel, if I may even describe it that way, okay? Because like the lace is very white, but in order to give her that like ghostly vibe, that lavender underneath the lace really gives it just the right touch of giving like this dated, but yet fresh vibe to her look. I tell you, when things can make me happy, it's really hard to express myself because they make me so happy. And this is one of them. But no, I will not be buying it, unfortunately. Because when I think of the Dia de los Muertos line, I think of a line that needs to literally be in an altar. I do. Like, I was visualizing it that way. And I was just like, it's a line that deserves to be displayed. It's a line that deserves to just be showcased. It's a line that I really wouldn't play with. I don't say that often, but I wouldn't. Like, I would just look at them every time. I was about to say every year, and I was like, would I really put them away and bring them back out? That's not a bad idea, but pulling them out and putting them back in might like mess up with, yeah, no, I would leave them out. If I could, I would. It's a good line. And now for the moment you probably all have been waiting for, because this person right here, has definitely been anticipating this moment for months. But before I get into the moment, we need to discuss something that we did not know, or that we assumed but we didn't see coming. Definitely not in this way. So Defalucy is back with series 2. Paris, as she's calling it. But before we can get into the offering of the dolls, because there's more than one at one time, shocker there, but exciting, she's also decided to come back with a whole new body. So the first Defalucy collector had one body. Then as the line grew, she changed her torso. Good torso. And now for series 2, she's completely changed everything. I present to you what they call Glam Flex, a body with 15 points of articulation. 15 points of articulation. I wouldn't even know where to count how many articulations those are because I usually don't have dolls that pose that much. Yeah, no, I don't. Here's what I'm going to say about this body. First of all, that was a slow clap. A round of applause to Defa for upgrading her body. Second of all, I am curious to feel it in my hands. I am. Third of all, I've never liked the look, because I've never had one in my hand, so this is based on look. I've never liked the look of a BJD. The initials are playing a game in my mind, and I think that's correct. Correct me if I'm wrong. And those are the dolls that have like all the double joints and stuff, and they're usually like 16 inches. Usually, because the Jamie Show dolls are the same and they're 12 inches. Okay. I don't really love the way their articulation looks in certain points. The one in particular that really annoys me the most is the elbow. Like that just looks like an accordion and it's just not my thing. As I was preparing for this video, which I actually rushed because I realized, why talk about this when it's like sold out? Like talk about it on the day. So I rushed to make sure that this was out. I feel like the elbow looks like an accordion. I said that. But I realized as I prepared for this video, repeating myself, the reason why I love the Integrity Toys body so much is because the Integrity Toys body reminds me of a fashion illustration. And I have gone to school for that. Do I put that skill to the test and do I practice it? Not as much as I should. But it's an imagery that I love. It's an image that brings me a lot of joy. It's an image that excites me. So the fact that the Integrity Toys dolls really have like the points of a fashion illustration, I love that. So I love playing with them for that reason. Is there lack of posability? Yeah, but you know what? I lack poses in my mind most of the time. So I don't know. And I don't usually use my dolls for like full storytelling. In my mind, they're models and they just don't do too much other than model. Like there are people out there, and I've seen them and they're very talented, that have like full storylines of like families and babies and weddings. Real stories, okay? So I understand how this would be appealing to them. I just, from the looks, because again, I haven't felt one in my hand, don't like the accordion vibe of the elbows, and you could see it in those images. They say that the knees are also in a similar mechanic, but an image of the dolls never shown sitting, so I can't tell you what that looks like. I am happy that they released images of the body in their Instagram stories, because when the first doll was released, all we saw was like that the chest area was different. But with us seeing the images of the body without clothes, we get to see the extra articulation that were just not visible with the clothing on, particularly the hip. Like there's a hip articulation and then there's like articulation on like the thighs. So I personally applaud them for putting this much work into upgrading the body. I would need to experience it in my hand to have a full reaction to it, or to really tell you how I really feel about it. Because right now, based on looks, I just don't love how it looks for me. But I do love that the company took its time to really develop something new with a new release. I will say that. So to those that might be able to catch her, you let me know how this body is, because it looked good. Not my preferred one. All right, now let's get into the dolls that were presented for this new series. So this is called Series 2 Paris. The first doll comes in what looks to be a strawberry blonde kind of color. And this is a very modern Chanel inspired look is what I would call it. I would say that I like the overall look. I just do not like the little camisole. And at first I was like, oh, they probably did that so you can see the new like rib chest articulation. But I'm like, dude, I can't see the hip ones. So You could have covered it. I don't know. There's something about the camisole that just throws the look off for me. I love that we're keeping this like oversized look with the jackets. Love the little skirt. Love the fabric from afar because I haven't touched it. So overall, I really appreciate that Defalucy is really being consistent with her styling direction. And she's giving us very clean, modern, fashion-forward aesthetics that are easy to add to anyone's collection. And that is all I have to say about model number 1. And that's because I have a lot more to say about model number 2. First, I'm going to start with the positive because there's a lot of them. The positive here is, and I've said this in the last videos from Defalucy, I appreciate a company that I can see has growth. We started this segment with the body that she's obviously evolved into, but something that I've appreciated from this collector line is if we go to her first AA doll to this one, baby, we've grown up because the screening on this doll is immaculately stunning. Okay? Like when I saw this doll, I gasped. Like when I saw model 1, I was like, yay, we're back. But when I saw model 2, jaw dropped, mouth on the floor. Now, the only negative I have here, and this is another place where they can grow, not a bad thing. The images that I'm sharing about model number 2 are images that I've altered, meaning I've put a filter on them to brighten her up so you can see her better. Because somehow we have not yet found a good photographer for a darker skinned doll. I do not understand how you put the darker skinned doll in a black ensemble in front of a dark background and did not warm up the lighting for her. So there's like no contrast here to see her. It's like she's blending in with everything, which is why I put a filter so you could see her because she's stunning and she should be seen. And I find it interesting when I was looking at the images before making the video, how with model number 1, it seems like she was filtered. It seems like she's really bright and yellow and glowy. Like there's a lot of light going on there, but it looks like a lot of editing. And when you put the photos of model number 2 next to it, there's not as much editing and it needed it. Because I just feel like, it's not true, I could tell that she disappears. And that's just not good for her because she's stunning. I would have loved for them to break up the pieces. However, Defa has shown us through her previous collection that she likes to give you looks that you can mix and match at home. Like she's doing that so you could do it. And baby, do I wish I could. Now I realized I went off the bandwagon here and I forgot to mention the price. Don't get scared. It's okay. So the series 1, if I'm not mistaken, I paid $65 before shipping. Series 2 with the upgraded body, believe it or not, is only, yes, I said only $85. She's gone up $20. Now, some people might think something might cut back in order to go up, but I really do think that Defalucy was very smart with her budgeting. And I think Defa spent a lot of years doing knockoff dolls and saving that coinage to really develop something when she was prepared to develop in the way that she wanted to develop it. Okay. Something else I should point out while we're here is I went on the website because the doll was released today, right before this video came out. She is a pre-order. So it is currently slated that she's due to be mailed out, I should be saying, January 1st of 2026. Now, take that with a grain of salt because as the world has been turning, things have not been consistent. Okay. Jason Wu just released an update on the shipping of his first doll off of his line Atomic Lab. Yeah. That doll's still not out. And that just got pushed back again. So again, take everything with a grain of salt. Do not think that because you saw a date, it's married. anything is possible with how the world is going. Just saying. As you can tell from my commentary, I unfortunately will not be purchasing either one just because of timing in my life. It has been made aware to me that things that I've already put deposits on should be here really soon. So as an adult, I'm going to focus on what I've already pre-ordered and that I need to complete. And I cannot be spreading myself thin in this moment in time. So for those that were able to collect Defalucy today, congratulations. I'm just going to wish that, similar to series 1, she's going to release a series of fashions of separates, and I can maybe get my joy that way. I mean, at the end of the day, I was really purchasing her for her clothes anyways. So let us hope and pray that series 2 will also conclude with another wave of separates that I can purchase down the line. All right, guys. For now, that is the end of this video. A video that I did not know was coming. The Dolly world right now is really throwing some curveballs and we got to roll with it as it comes. But remember, hit the subscribe button because I should be getting some stuff from Integrity really soon. And you're not going to want to miss that. But until next time, adios.